how to make the G sound. To make the G sound, elevate the back part of your tongue against the soft palate at the top of your mouth. Let out air by lowering the tongue, producing a burst of noise. Use the link in the online lessons to go to the Iowa University website and click on the triangle to hear how the phoneme G should be sounded.
G. G.
In this first section, phonemic awareness, we will only be dealing with the sound and not the letter or grapheme. Do not show students the letter until later in the lesson. Tell the students they are going to learn the G sound. Demonstrate how the word goodbye begins with the G sound. Download the song sheet, Go Tell Aunt Rhody. Read out or sing the song Go Tell Aunt Rhody, emphasizing the G sounds at the beginning of the words. Tell the students that the word gorilla begins with the G sound. Take your hands and beat them on your chest as you say the word gorilla, emphasizing the G sound. Ask students to do the same. Tell them to use this movement when they say or hear the G sound. Get Reading Lesson Sound Symbol Card 14. Show the front of the card and ask what animal is on the picture. Ask what sound gorilla begins with. Ask students to listen for the G sound and repeat it in the word gorilla, and do the beating on the chest motion as you say the G sound. Instructions on how to assemble the cards are in the online lessons. Tell the students you are going to say some words that begin with the G sound and some that do not. Ask them to make the gorilla action and say G when they hear the sound at the beginning of the words. Here are the words: gate, gum, dot, go, pest, get, tin, girl. Be sure to leave plenty of time between saying each word for the students to respond. Say the word bag. Emphasize the G at the end of the word. Say that this word ends with the G sound. Tell the students that you are going to say some words that end with the G sound and some that do not. Ask them to make the gorilla movement and say G when they hear the sound at the end of the word. Here are the words: hug, cat, twig, can, butt, bug, pen, dig. Leave sufficient time for the students to respond. Tell the students they should make the gorilla movement when they hear the G sound at the beginning of a word in the verse you are going to read to them. Here's the verse. Goofy girls gave gum to a gorilla today. For gorillas, gifts of gum cannot be fun. Good girls give gifts gorillas use to play. Give them guitars, drums, and water guns. Repeat the verse until the students can identify all the beginning G sounds in the verse. After you are sure that students can recognize and make the G sound, go on to teach the most common grapheme or letter that's used to represent the sound. There is another sound represented by the G grapheme, and that's the soft G, pronounced J, as in giant. We'll be covering soft G in a later lesson. Give out the sound symbol card for G. Show the back of the card. Point to the small g and say, this is how we write the letter for the sound G. Point to the capital G and say, this is how we write big G, which is for important words like people's names. Point to the word gorilla and say, this is how we write the word gorilla. Point to the letter G and say, this is how we write the G sound at the beginning of the word gorilla. Give out the Cadiddles writing practice sheets for little g and big G. Point to the small g and say, this is how we write the letter for the sound G. Point to the capital G and say, this is how we write big G, which is for important words like people's names. Say the name Grace begins with the sound G. Model the formation of the letter G for students. Have students write the letter G in the air as they watch you write it. Have students trace the letters on the practice worksheets with their fingers. Ask students to practice writing the small g and the large G on the practice worksheets. Now we move on to blend the sounds to make words. Blending is the skill of sounding out letters all through a word into a natural sounding word. Using a word card, point to the first letter of the word and say the sound. Then, pass your finger to the next letter and say the sound, and so on. For example, for the word gas, say g, a, s. Do this again more quickly until the word is pronounced naturally. Show the word card for gap. Say the word begins with g. Ask students to point to the letter that stands for g. Sound out gap while running a finger under each letter. G, a, p. Say the word quickly, gap. Have the students sound out the word with you.